I'll tell you afterwards.
Oh, it's me again. Welcome back, folks. Minister of Health, Dr. Christopher Tufton, is here with us. He ran into the studio because he's always moving. We're going to be delving more into the details about the HPV vaccine, as well as getting an update on the Jamaica Moves campaign. If you follow him on social media, you will see that he is really always moving. Minister, good morning to you.
Morning to you both. Good to see you, sir.
Looking good, looking healthy.
Feeling healthy,
Yes, my word. Talk to me a little bit about, you heard the doctors here. There was an initial, I'm going to say covfefe because it's a word that Donald Trump created, but it kind of essentially talks a little bit about what happened at the start of this campaign. So the campaign started, the injection started, it was being rolled out, and there was a little bit of a, what was it, disconnect between your ministry and the information ministry?
Right. Well,
no?
Technically no, but the appearance of it suggested that, and we tried, therefore, quickly, myself and Minister Reid, to clear that up. The truth of the matter is that the science of the vaccine, which was explained at length prior to my coming on, is very clear. The benefits are very obvious. And frankly speaking, for the most part, Jamaicans agree with it. In fact, in the parliament where I gave a statement, the opposition spokesperson agreed.
Yes.
The process is what created some issues. Now, I am prepared to err on the side of caution and to accept some responsibility, meaning the ministry, for probably not going the extra mile in some instances. But there was a program months before the first set of vaccines were administered, which allowed for dialogue with the critical stakeholders, meaning through the Ministry of Education, the schools, the principals, the guidance counselors, the parents, through parent teachers. A letter was sent, the PSOJ, a number of NGOs leading up to the first administration. But there was no sort of major mass communication. And because of the way the communication approach was structured, there was some inconsistencies. So some schools were very aware and prepared. Others were not so. So it did create some amount of anxiety. In addition to that, we must be very frank, vaccines and the anti-vaccine voice is a very strong global voice, because as the doctors before us said, there are some persons who do not believe in vaccines. The reality is that vaccines have saved millions of lives across the world. But there are some persons who feel, because of the way vaccines are developed by its very nature, which for the most part involves taking the actual virus and then using it in doses to build your antibodies. Some people are just very against it. So that voice will always be very loud once we speak to the introduction of a new vaccine.
Are we big on vaccines in Jamaica? We don't have anti-vaxxer
measles, mumps, chicken pox, whether it's by needle or orally. I mean, all of us can remember that little thing we get in our arm, right, which leaves a mark. So this is not new to Jamaica, but this is a new one. It is tried, tested, and proven. Over 200 million doses. It's being administered in over 80 odd countries. We are guided by WHO, by the team of experts, by our local experts, and frankly speaking, we're spending $100 million because we feel it is worth it. Those who know persons who suffer from cervical cancer understand the pain and the anguish it causes, whether from a death or just the suffering that's associated with it. So we're very confident we're doing the right thing. I am prepared to say, however, that if we need to ratchet up the communication strategy, which I think in some areas we do.
I think so.
We should do that, and we should have no difficulty with accepting some criticisms in that respect.
Minister, it's safe, free of cost, and optional. Free of cost to how many?
Well, not free of cost to the government and the taxpayers, but yes, to the girls who benefit, it's free. Each dosage costs somewhere in the region of about $8 or $9 US. You can in fact get it free, pay for it privately. And it's going to cost you anywhere between 12 and 15,000 Jamaican dollars. But for these
20,000 girls who are
22,500 the age cohort at the grade 7 level.
22,500 will get it free. Everyone else will have to pay for it.
Anyone else who wants it, and others do, take it based on the advice of the doctors. Once you are part of that school program, it's free.
Right. Okay. So there, I think there's consensus on this, which is a good thing. Opposition is saying good job. Neville asked a question earlier, which I think is valid. Why did we wait until now? Obviously, your administration just took...
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a legacy issue in that it has been spoken about from well before my time. In fact, the process of putting it in effect actually started before my time. I kind of came on board and fast-tracked getting it done once I was convinced it was necessary.
I see.
Why? Because of money availability, discussions around it, ensuring that we're doing the right thing. There are a whole host of reasons. But once we were convinced we needed to go, then we started.
I want to go back to the free of cost part. So you're doing 22.5 now.
Right.
What happens when the younger ones get to the age that it should be?
The idea is actually to continue the process, which is a fairly hefty cost.
That's my point.
But we think it's worth it. So the idea is to do it each year, which means that you have to budget. Hopefully over time we will get it cheaper, because as more people come on board, more is produced. Okay, it's a global initiative.
PAHO is where you get it through
PAHO, yes,
now.
right. So
but it makes sense because a healthier, especially female population, is good for productivity.
Good for so many things.
It's an investment, really.
It's a huge investment. And it's important that we note, because I note the criticism of us encouraging our young girls to have sex because it's linked to sexually transmitted viruses. And that's not the case. This is one of several initiatives. We have initiatives with our public health officers going in the schools, coordinating with our sick bays, nurses, guidance counselors. National Family Planning Board has initiatives. So it's part of an entire menu of initiatives.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit, if Nev has no more HPV questions about Jamaica Moves. I mean, I joke with you.
The most exciting part of the ministry for me.
Every time I see you on social media, you're either climbing a hill, running down a hill, walking through a river. I mean, and I see some postings of late with yourself. I see Miss Kitty hosting some stuff. You're moving across the nation with this. How's it going?
So the Jamaica Move is an attempt at mass mobilization of the Jamaican people to first of all recognize that prevention, in terms of preventative measures to improve their health status, is much better than the curative measures, which is to go to the hospital after you're sick. So it is an attempt at encouraging persons firstly to know their health status, which means doing checks. You know, Jamaicans tend to go to the doctor only when they feel sick. And frankly speaking, that's not the ideal time to go. The time to go is to know what you're vulnerable of and to take some action. So the doctor will tell you that, listen, your blood pressure is a little high. If you don't do something about it, you might get a stroke. You don't want to get the stroke and then end up in the hospital.
Correct.
So the part of it is to allow people to recognize that and to give them the opportunity to take that through our parish stores. And then after that, to advise them on what are some of the simple things to do to keep healthy. 30 minutes of exercise a day, whether it's walk, run, jog, ride, and then of course a dietary component, which is to manage your salts, sugars, fats, alcohol, and of course tobacco is a total no-no for us. So the Jamaica Move was conceptualized and is intended to push a fun way to provide information, to mobilize, and to change culture over time. It's not an event, it's a process, but each event, hopefully, will get that message out more to people. So we have, among other things, a parish tour. So you saw us in Mandeville. I think the famous part of Mandeville was Minister Shaw doing a little jiggy on the platform with Miss Kitty.
That was interesting.
Peter Bunting was there too. So we mobilized political players from both sides.
Yes.
We set up booths during the days, and we do the health checks, all the necessary health checks, free of cost. So the ministry's personnel are there. We're in St. Elizabeth on the 27th. We have a corporate challenge, which is an attempt at targeting companies.
How is that going?
It's going extremely well. I mean, we have a close to 20, I think just below 20 companies, large companies representing those that have signed up about 1,200 employees.
Wow.
And we are on a circuit with running events. And the next one being the Heroes in Action, which is the JN Foundation, Usain Bolt run in Trelawney. And we're encouraging others to sign up. And basically, these employees come as a team. They're given points for participating and points for placement. The last run will be the Reggae Marathon in Negril in December. And at that point, a corporate winner will be declared. Now, that has done so much for morale in the companies, in that the team effort, the team spirit, plus the core message of healthy living and so on. So that's going on.
How is your ministry?
My ministry. Oh, well, yes, they are participating. And I've been, I must tell you, somebody, I hope we don't.
Why?
For fear that the gaming commission may be called in to say whether or not. They're doing well. They're doing well. And the ministry has really bought in. One of the interesting things I've discovered in Mandeville, one parish manager came to me and said, this is not just about health. They have never seen ministry personnel so motivated around an event that it is actually good for corporate morale. So we're doing that. And
does the campaign have an end date? When does it end?
No, well, the campaign has a 12-month first stage. But my view is that it has to continue. And it should continue beyond my own tenure in the ministry and over many, many years. Because prevention, the preventative side of healthcare, is absolutely fundamental. 7 out of every 10 deaths in Jamaica are linked to non-communicable diseases, lifestyle diseases, arthritis, diabetes, cancers. Obesity levels are going up at an alarming rate. I think it's about 1% a year. So what we consume and our physical inactivity is costing us as individuals. The World Bank says up to 1/3 of our disposable income once you're discovered to have an NCD. It's costing the country in terms of hospitals and beds and specialist services. And frankly speaking, it's just affecting quality of life. Neville, you know that, right? So we are really encouraging persons to get with the program, take responsibility for their health. We will provide a mechanism. And after each parish tour, we have ongoing events so they can contact their hospitals, contact their health centers, and we're also available to go into companies to help them to design programs to support the Jamaica Moves event.
Good to see you, sir. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Dr. Christopher Tufton, Minister of Health. Thanks again, sir.
So I'm exercising. Children's rights and social media use. News in 5 first, though. We'll be right back.